most rodeos, there's one thing you'll prominently notice. There's a lot of testosterone. Bull riding, team roping, and steer wrestling, all mainly a man's featured event. So people had to figure out something for women to do. That is when barrel racing is born. In the early 1940s, the Girls Rodeo Association, later known as the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, started a event that included the glitz and glam of your cowgirl events with the same amount of horsemanship involved as your more man-featured events. The Women's Professional Rodeo Association stated they were fed up with a system which did not grant them competitive opportunities in the arena, and when it did not, and it did not operate under unfair conditions. So barrel racing was born. Barrel racing is a clover leaf pattern, and there is 90 feet between the first and second barrel, and there's 105 feet between the second and third, which is stated from the National Barrel Horse Association. Originally, there were judges, and it was based on how fancy a person could dress up and how much glitz and glam they could get on a saddle and everything involved with it. And they also judged a woman on their horsemanship and how well they could run the pattern. Nowadays, there's no judge involved, and it's all based on specifically a timed event. So basically, you're running against yourself and other people, and the fastest time wins. If you want a very clean pattern, and if you are to knock a barrel, it is a 5-second penalty, which will instantly place you below everyone else and give you no chance of winning. So to be able to win a barrel race, you need to choose the right horse. Short ponies, lanky horses, and quarter horses are a lot of the horses involved in barrel racing. Quarter horses are best known for barrel racing due to the fact that they're lanky enough to give them speed, but still short enough that they have a stocky build and allows for short bursts of energy. Quarter horses are actually known for their quarter mile time because they can run for a very short amount, compared to a thoroughbred, which is known for their fast mile time because they're long and lengthy and are able to keep that speed for much longer of a time. When you purchase a horse, you have to look through the time. You have to put a lot of time and thought process into it, and you have to compare your goods and your bads to it. A short, stocky horse is lower to the ground, so for a shorter person, it's an ideal horse, while as a long, lengthy horse might suit a taller rider. You have more risks if you get a long and lanky horse, though, because they're higher up, and when they go to take a turn, there's the risk of them falling on each other, or injuring themselves more. You also have to think about a horse's meal plan when you are purchasing it, because some horses might need a more expensive food compared to other horses. A quote by Horse Channel stated, "Meeting a horse's nutritional needs isn't always easy. Many horse owners mistakenly feed their equine partners as if they were top Olympic show jumpers or United States equestrian team endurance champions, but the reality is that many horses are not fed according to what their true workload is. Achieving the right combination and balance of roughage, protein, fat, and carbohydrates takes some research and trial and error," end quote. And then another main factor is the age that comes into it. Your prime age, stated by the Chronicle of Horse, is ages 8 to 16. If you're to have a horse that's too young, there's the risk of the bones haven't fused yet, and then broken bones are very common. And if they're too old, there's pulled ligaments, and there's the possibility of heart problems. The equipment that you need to barrel race includes your head stall, your noseband, your bit, your tie down, your reins, your saddle, your breast collar, your cinch, your saddle pads, and your boots. Now, not everyone uses the same things. There's a lot of opportunities for people to use something that other people might not. So starting from the head to the tail, the head stall, which is this right here, is what goes around the horse's ears, and it keeps your bit in the horse's mouth. An example of a bit could be something like this, and that is what's connected to the head stall, and it gives you all of the control that you need for getting it from place to place and starting and stopping it. There's also something called a hackamore, which is it's rope and it's metal that goes around a horse's nose instead of being put into a horse's mouth, and that is used if a horse doesn't like a bit, or if you want to be a little less harsh than putting something in the horse's mouth. The next thing you might use is a noseband, which located right down there. It can connect to a tie down, which is a strap of nylon that can go from the horse's head to the horse's stomach, and it keeps their head down and controls them, and it helps them balance a little more, and that can give you sharper turns without the possibility of them falling over. Reins is what you use to control the horse completely. That's where your hands go, and that is you are able to pull them left to go left and right to go right, and around the turns, which makes it easy. Your saddle is your next thing. That is where you sit when you ride, and it keeps the rider in place, and it makes sure that they aren't bouncing around everywhere. You connect the breast collar, which is this, and the cinch, which is this, and the cinch goes around the horse's stomach and the breast collar goes around the front of the horse, and that just keeps your saddle in place and makes sure you're not flying out. And then your saddle pad goes underneath the saddle, which keeps the horse's back from creating too much friction between the horse's back, and it makes sure that there's no injuries to the horse's back. And then lastly are your boots. There's bell boots, and then there's just hock boots. The bell boots basically keep the ankles from rolling and basically giving them a sprained ankle, and then your front and your back hock boots are basically what keeps your ligaments and tendons in place and make sure that they don't get torn or pulled while running. And then lastly, the clothing that you use either a helmet or a lot of people run in hats. My good friend Ray once said that she'll never run without a helmet on due to the implications that might come from if you fall off without one, which can lead to death and major brain injuries from hitting the ground too hard. So a big contradiction with that is the cowboy hat, which is the main, which is like traditional for most people. This is, it's been a long-going tradition, and since helmets were just recently approved as a part of the barrel racing, it's still like up in the air between tradition and what's safe. Next, you'll either wear a flannel, or a lot of people run in short sleeve shirts. It really just depends on the rules and everything. Fallon Taylor, which is a famous barrel racer, she goes all out with her outfits. She's always matching, and that includes her jeans and everything. And then you mainly run in jeans. If you can't really wear shorts, or you'll get saddle rubs, which hurts, and sweatpants just create too much friction and would create burns on your legs. And then lastly, you'd wear a 1 to 2 inch heeled boot, and that just keeps your foot in the stirrup and make sure that you aren't flopping everywhere, and it makes sure if you are to fall off that your foot doesn't get caught in the stirrup, and that you can hit the ground easier. And then here's just some examples of a full barrel racer running. And that is my speech.